Alright, hey there everybody. Looks like this is working. So I got really, I've always had this problem. I've got these squeaky blinders here, which is a little bit like Peaky Blinders, except nothing like that at all. They're really bad today. It's a weather-based phenomenon. Like, the metal in part of it expands and contracts based on the temperature. It drives me a little bit insane. It's worse today than normal. I might have to try and find something that'll temporarily, like, dampen it, like maybe a sledgehammer. But barring that, yeah, we're starting off with Kerbal today, and then we're going to switch over to Age of Wonders 4 after that. So, I'm going to show you guys, like, something interesting. So, I legitimately do think that the streaming process does destroy my ability to play video games a little bit, which, no surprise there, it does take some portion of my limited brain capacity. But let's go ahead and hit the tracking station. I think you can find this from here. So, if we take a look over at the moon, can we find the thing? Maybe not. Well, I did plant a flag on here because I did land on the stupid thing when I was not with you guys. Let's see here. Tracked objects. Is there toggle flags? There we go. Yeah, I landed up there. So apparently it's easier to do this when I'm not with you guys. It wouldn't have been that interesting to watch the deorbit because I had to lap Kerbal like 18 times to lose enough speed so that I could land because I did not have enough fuel to do that that easily. But yeah, I did in fact make it to the moon. I'm kind of contemplating trying to get back there again, but I might try to just go down to Minmus instead. That being said, we do have missions to do that I've been holding off on that I probably should do at some point. Yeah, so which of these do I think I need here? Like, we got access to these different boosters here, these fuel tanks, all this sort of stuff here. And we got access to the heavier rockets. I'm going to get all these. Very heavy rockets are available way up there. Let's instead get this. Let's get the advanced fuel systems here, I think. Yeah, these blinders are driving me absolutely batty. Not enough science quite. Alright, so the other thing that we probably want to do is try and figure out if we can get... Let's actually get some miniaturization here, maybe. Yeah, I want to try and get those, like, satellites in orbit, but we'll do our missions today. Even though I don't think this will get us, like, that much science. So I need to test the Spark liquid fuel engine while orbiting the moon. You have to be orbiting at an altitude of 440 to 450. We don't have to land or anything, so this is going to be easier. And we have to do a Rove Max Model S2, which I can't remember what type of model the Rove Max S2 is. Model S2 Rove Max. It's the wheels here. So we have to be... Oh, right, this is what we were... We were contemplating doing it this way. So I did upgrade the space plane, or the hangar. Okay. And are these the Rove Max S2s? Oops. Well, I can just go back to the save thing. I just want to double check to make sure that's the right wheel type. Let's go in here, compare. Yeah, that's the right kind. So let's just go ahead and open. Don't save. Alright, so let's go ahead and launch this and see if we can make it. So all I have to do is have this and make it into the water. Now that we've got an actual runway, we can just sort of head this direction and hopefully make it there a little bit more easily. This thing's quite slow and it is not daytime right now. I wonder if there's a way to change the launch time. Because, oh, we're veering off course here. Oh no. Well, we failed. We failed our mission already. Right, fine. It's got to be some sort of like extra stability we could add onto this somehow. Like how would you normally do a motorized vehicle for this game? I wonder. I think if we do the wheels a little bit more spread out like this, just like one tick, that might make it more stable. I don't think that's necessarily better, but the main problem again is that it's nighttime and our solar panels will not work, so we might just have to add more batteries or something. I have no idea. Alright, definitely feels more stable. I think we're going to run into some problems because this is definitely not how you want these wheels working. I mean, potentially I could try to do a rocket car. That would also potentially be a thing we could try. I'm not even sure like what's causing these things to suddenly veer off course so badly, because there's really not much excuse for it, honestly. What the hell's going on? We're trying to do missions, Optics. We're trying to... We've made it to the moon already. I did it when you guys weren't here, because it's apparently easy to land that. It was kind of boring, because I did have to lap Kerbal like 50 times to land safely back on Kerbal, but we're trying to do our missions, and I have to test my Rove Max Model S2 splashdown, and I'm too lazy to actually like launch stuff. So we're just going to try and do this. Now, what's probably going to happen is that this is actually harder than the thing that would actually be easier, so I'm probably going to switch back to the easier way of doing things. I'm also being slowly driven insane by my curtains, which are squeaking, and I'm going to just probably take a sledgehammer to a wall or something like that. Probably not really. I would probably have to pay to fix that. By which I mean I would definitely have to pay to fix that. Alright, what is our electric charge at? Yeah, we've used about half of it already. Yeah, this thing does not want to go straight. I've adjusted the wheels and tires to try and make it a little bit more stable, but I don't think that the game likes the concept of cars. I think that they've decided electrical vehicles are an abomination and that you should only ever travel by rocket, so that could be the case. Alright. Well, I think we're going to run out of... I could literally wait the hours and hours and hours to wait for the sun to come back out, but... Fine, I guess we'll do this the legitimate way, you stupid game. Alright, fine. Okay. But, yeah, like, I did see the new Amnesia. I'm contemplating saving that all the way until Halloween. The fact that they released it in, like, June is wild to me. Like, I love playing the Amnesia games for, like, a Halloween thing, though. That's kind of the problem. So I'm contemplating saving it for that. Hey there, Egg. Yeah, the problem is, like, I might not be able to wait that long. It's, like, I do play pretty much all the Amnesia games, and I really like them. So, alright, we're gonna go with the basic command pod here. Just gonna do, like, the dumbest, like, tiniest booster here, or just the biggest booster here. What about this? What would happen if I did this here? Would this launch me to the water? Would I be able to get to the water with this thing? Probably. Might land on a different planet instead. Let's go with... Where's the... It's literally just like a mite is all I really need here. Okay, coupling. I can do it basic to coupler. Oh, that is even smaller than I thought it was going to be. Is this the right command? I think so. What was the one that you, like, start off with? I think it's the hammer. Okay, that, then that. And then we just have to put, like, some tires on the side of this thing for literally no functional purpose. So we'll put, like, a tire over here. Sure, why not? also need to have a landing gear on suborbital trajectory over the moon, so we're not going to get that on this run. We're not even going to try that. The flamey side down and the pointy side up. What if I make the flamey side also pointed? Besides, as I learned from my launching off the moon, you point the flamey side sideways. I think that works fine. Am I going to be able to... I wonder if I'm even going to be able to hit the water with this. Should have put SAS on instead of freeforming this, but whatever. This is heading roughly water direction. If that tire explodes from heat, I'm going to be really irritated. Let's turn on our SAS here. Okay, so can't see... Watch the tire wreck the aerodynamics. The tire did wreck the aerodynamics a little bit. Not turning the SAS probably also ruined the aerodynamics a little bit. It's fine though. We're basically just here to hit the water with a tire. I didn't know that this... I don't think these games have co-op. God. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to try and get a towel while this is happening. If I come back to a wreck, that's fine. Okay, what did I... Oh, god damn it, they're still going. Yeah, I might have to literally get those replaced. Alright, I can't see garbage here. I can't see anything. I'm not even sure if I'm still heading towards the water. What is multiplayer for Kerbal Space Program supposed to be about? What would you do in multiplayer there? Let's see. Yeah, we're headed towards the water. This is fine. I probably could have gotten away with actually even a smaller engine. Or a booster. Alright. I mean, the altitude should be decreasing. I would hope it would be. That's kind of the goal here. I don't know why you can't just, like, Oh, it should automatically do it at 1,000. Yeah. Oh, God. Imagine all the people, like, crashing their ships together. That would be probably the standard, honestly. Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have different people working on different parts of it, like in a real launch. That would kind of be interesting. That would not work, but I mean, it would be interesting. You'd have people in different seats in like the ship there. There'd be the person who's like doing the nav thing. doing the plotting and stuff like that, while the other person does the actual like hits the big red button or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why when they're testing, it's like we need to test this Rovmax tire in the water. I don't know why they don't just like get one of the people to like hop on out there with the tire and just drag it into the ocean with them. Be like, yeah, no, it's in the water now. I think that would be 100% of the test that you would have to conduct realistically for that. It's like, why? I don't know why you need to get the space agency to do it for you. Like, guy from the factory could just do this test here. Alright, run test. Okay. Cover that vessel there. I should check and see if there's other objectives I could take that are going to be done around the moon. Yeah, we got paid a little bit, but we didn't really get any data or anything like that out of it, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's head to mission control and see what there is. Plant flag on the moon. Dang nammit. Am I likely to go back to the moon in 9 years? Probably. Why is this trivial? It's probably because I've already been there. Well, there could be some sort of difference between like actual like ocean conditions and the like controlled environment of a pool, so you'd want to test in both. Position satellite in a polar orbit for Sean's Cannery. We believe that you're much prepared. What? I'm very confused about some of the elements of this mission here. Huh. Why is a cannery talking about struts asking me to put a satellite up? Alright, well, interesting. There's another one that wants me to position a satellite in polar orbit. This has probably got different numbers here, yeah. Specific orbit of Minmus. So this is what I was saying that I was thinking I was probably going to want to do. Is I wanted to sort of start doing some satellites, because I think you get some signs from that. Let's see here. These are always a little bit more tricky than I like them to be. Okay, we could attempt a landing. Alright. So I think what I want to try and do is probably get some of these satellites out there. But the question is, do I go back to the moon? None of these are actually, like, do a reconnaissance of the moon sort of thing, just in orbit, so maybe I'll... I'll take this one because I think it's, like, kind of required, but... Then I'll take this one because it's related. Oh, this is a very specific orbit. What the heck? Might not be worth trying to get it this specific. Within reasonable deviation. I wonder how close that is. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. Right, well... So if I did these two together... Those are related enough. These ones are always kind of awkward. Because you have to do the staging when you've splashed down. Alright, well, let's try this. and this, since we're probably going to want to try go there again anyway. Alright. So first of all, I think I want to do the orbital mission. So I'm going to take the one that I know gets there, which is this behemoth. I don't know that this is what I had after all the upgrades to it. That doesn't look right. Maybe I didn't save it. Yeah, this is the one that made it. This is the one that we made it there with all these struts on it. Let's go ahead and start retracted, deploy shielded. Legitimately not sure whether or not the deploy shielded actually matters. All I know is that these things are not properly... There we go. Okay. 2v2 Mechabellum is quite fun. I've never heard of that one. I take it's like a mech arena shooter kind of game thing. Oh, God. Not sure why my blinds are so bad today. It's a temperature thing, but, like, there's so much worse today. Okay, so let's see what my missions here are, because I have to do some weird stuff around here. So I need to do the Spark Liquid Fuel Engine while I'm orbiting the moon. And I have to do the landing gear on suborbital trajectory over the moon. What constitutes suborbital? That means not orbital, but what are the specifics of that? Well, either way, let's start. It's an auto battler. Oh, that's peculiar. LY35. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. Technically, this stuff can be really awkward. That's actually not that bad. That positioning is not that bad. Yeah, so that is like a very old school kind of StarCraft 2 mode. I remember playing those ones. Spark Liquid Fuel Engine. I need to slap one of these on and probably just not hook it up at all. Reliant Skipper. That's this one. So I could just put this like on the side here, stage it and then not fire it. Okay, that's... Okay, so I've got it attached there, and then just, we don't have it stage. I don't think this is actually in the staging. Wait, is that even the right thing? That's one of my spotlights. You know, we'll delete that. Maybe if I rotate this thing. Can this only be placed on like the specific contact point? I might not be able to actually put this down the way I want to. Because if I have to launch this and actually use that engine, that's pretty awkward. Really don't like that. Okay. What if we did something like that? Okay, not super happy with any of that, but... Okay, so those go off. So what's the 2v2 version of that, like, different about it anyway? Is it just, you both have, like, control of half of the stuff, I'm imagining? I might need some struts here. This is real structural nightmare. This is still pretty bad looking, but I don't know, let's find out. Honestly, I could probably do this with the lighter engine because I don't need the I don't need the big command pod. I could be using one of the older models that's... maybe the Muna 2 model? This is actually a really old one. The 3? Yeah, maybe actually I was better off with the heavier one. I'm not entirely sure what I think that the multiplayer adds to those types of games, because I have played that style of game in StarCraft 2 when they did that, but... Okay, I think this is technically everything. I don't know if I'm going to have fuel draw into this engine, though. So... I don't think I am going to have fuel... you know what, it's fine. Okay, let's just try this. Let's see if this flies at least. Okay, so we've got, for some reason, Jebediah, Bill, and Bob. It's not exactly relevant to this particular launch, since I don't think we're going to get any real experience off of this. Okay, so I have to stage that there. This one I just have to right-click and then check. I kind of hate these missions, like the fine details of them is always the awkward part. Where they're like, we need very, very specific things out of you that are just really awkward. Yeah, the co-op. I'm not too sure what the co-op element adds to that. So I can definitely see why it's 1v1 mostly. No, I'm not sure why it would be like, what 2v2 would be like compared to 1v1, because those sort of games I feel like, when I have played the modes that are 2v2, it's almost like you're both playing separate games. Almost feels like unrelated what you're doing together. I guess you could learn to coordinate, but coordination's hard. Okay, this is not a straight launch, but it is deviating in the direction I want it to be. Let those fall a little bit. Okay, the rate at which we're changing orientation is accelerating really badly in a way that I'm not actually happy about. We're actually doing a flip, it looks like. It's slow enough that this is technically, like, doable. And there's nothing strictly speaking wrong with our direction or orientation yet. But I'm worried that there will be. Just for being in friends at the same time. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just being there with friends is sometimes more fun. Alright, let's, Man, we're starting to deviate in weird ways here. We're out of atmosphere, so I'm not too sure why we're deviating in weird ways. Okay, what is our apoapsis looking like here? It is very shallow, which is good. It's actually really high, which is also good. We're looking pretty level with the moon, so that's also pretty good. Just stage that. I'm not gonna throttle up yet, though. Okay, well, in spite of the fact that this was not my most elegant launch in a lot of ways, this is actually pretty good. It flip-flopped the way that I wanted it to and kept us on course in a way that's kind of funny. Okay. Man, I think if I was going to play actually a co-op game, I would want it to be like one of those really, really dumb, bad co-op games, like, which was the Resident Evil that's really awful? 6, I think? I don't know why I feel that way, but I do feel that way. I wonder actually, like, have you looked at all into, like, what the new Amnesia is about? Because it makes no sense to me that they could make another one to a certain degree. Because I know it's like World War I kind of thing, but like they kind of answered all the questions in the most recent Amnesia game, or the previously most recent, I guess, Amnesia Rebirth. Because that one like just sort of finished the lore of the game to a large extent. There wasn't really a ton left after that. Let's see here, 30 seconds plus 12 seconds, 42 seconds. I kind of actually wish they would do more games that are sort of like Soma, in that they're sort of unrelated to the weird lore that's been sort of answered already in Amnesia. Because honestly, like, the aliens in Amnesia are kind of always been the least interesting thing. Yeah, like that's... I kind of want to save it, but it's so long away from October. It's hard to, like, hold on to that sort of thing for that long, but I'm gonna try and do it. I'm gonna try and hold off on that until October, I think. Play it for Halloween. I guess it depends on the type of person you are. I think there were a lot of people that were invested in the lore in a big way. I just wasn't one of them. I thought there were other things that made the game scary, not the lore. Okay. It's kind of interesting, actually, because I was really positive about, like, Soma when it came out, and a lot of people actually were really negative about it. There's been a big resurgence of people who actually think it is a good game now. or at the very least that it had interesting ideas behind it, and the existential horror elements that I was talking about were good. So I feel vindicated by that. I know, right? There being a creepy alien thing doesn't really automatically make the story scary. You have to. It depends on what you do with the creepy alien, I guess. But the more sort of symbolic stuff that was in that game, because there was a lot of interesting symbolic horror elements in the hallucinations or dream sequences that were really good. More of that sort of stuff, in my opinion. Are we close enough? Honestly, that is close enough for me. Presentation and game design. Mostly there are some other things that I think can contribute. Let's see, Moon's headed this way. I do think there are other things that can contribute to it being scary other than just those things. Wait, what the heck? Ah, God. Oh, no. What have I done? Ah. Great, well... I don't know what I've done, so that's fantastic. That's 800,000. Oh, God. Okay. That is 200,000. I'm looking for about 400,000. So around there is pretty good. Orbit around the moon, 440 to 450,000. Can always get a little bit more out of this. Okay. So I don't know what I've done here, in all honesty. I don't know what this green circle is. Maybe if I did... Okay, that got rid of that part, so that's good. Okay, and I have to warp to here. And it's going to be a T-minus 20. It's kind of actually impressive how long this current wave of horror games being good has been going on for, because there's been actually a pretty decent chunk of time where there's been good horror games, even if it's some indie and some AAA. And it doesn't feel like they're sort of over milking it either. There's just been sort of a steady stream of horror games that have been coming out for years now that have been pretty decent. It feels oversaturated if you're in sort of the Five Nights at Freddy's crowd, I think, because there's a ton of that kind of game that's mostly shovelware, but I don't play any of those, so... Wait, is this out of... Am I out of fuel? Oh, I wonder why that was showing the way it was. Well, I think I missed my mark by a little bit, but this should be okay, honestly. Okay, well, we got to something here. Okay, I'm gonna actually do a specific maneuver at this point and just see if I can get a little bit closer to the mark there. Perhaps this 560. I think I just have to make sure I can get the correct orientation angle, and then Resident Evil remake. I'm not even really referring to the remakes, even though they do look good. I haven't bothered playing any of them because I don't really care. But like the new ones are actually also good, which is the sort of surprising thing. Like, Resident Evil 4 was probably one of my favorite of the Resident Evil games. So I don't really think of it as a horror game, because it's not really, like, there's some scary parts to it, but they're not really, in all honesty. But they're still really fun and really good. Like, the newer ones are actually more horror-orientated, I'd say. Like, Resident Evil The Village, I'd say, is scarier than Resident Evil 4, and that one where you're in like that creepy family sort of swamp thing is definitely scarier than Resident Evil 4 was. But they're also like, you know, good, which is kind of important. I kind of feel like only like a small number of companies, like maybe one or two of the big ones, can get the gumption to actually make a horror game at a time. That's probably why it doesn't feel oversaturated. Like, I haven't been seeing a bunch of new Clock Tower games or whatever. Although I wonder if that studio is even still alive, honestly. Could very well be whoever made Clock Tower is dead right now. Or like Rule of Rose or something like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit here. Just a quick burn at a random and arbitrary time. Honestly, it doesn't really matter when I do this burn. Too much, anyway. I'm gonna actually be doing a much weaker burn here, so I can get away with doing it like that. Just gonna close this out here. It's close enough. Is that collision course? Is horror oversaturated in the VR space? I don't play any VR games at all, so that could very well be the case, yeah. Oh god, this is going to result in devastation again. I should be able to warp to here without anything going wrong. I'm just going to hope that this doesn't do the thing that sometimes happens when I do this nonsense. All the devs moved into VR. Oh god, that's awful. I do hope that VR does well, but like still. Okay, I do think this is the correct periapsis, so let's... So do we count as being suborbital? I'm not entirely convinced I know what they mean by suborbital, in all honesty. It means not in orbit, like, obviously, but I don't know what they mean by not in orbit. Okay, we're now at the moon. Do they mean, like, I wonder if they mean, like, you're suborbital in the sense that you're about to collide. Is that what they mean? I hope not. Alright, well, in any event, let's take our... can actually just go retrograde here. And then burn retrograde a little bit. Should be fine doing it from here, honestly. Periapsis is dropping too fast, though. I actually need to have a pretty big periapsis. So the fact that it's dropping by this much is not great. So what we might have to do here... I guess we go do this maneuver at the periapsis is better. I keep thinking about it in terms of like trying to do it so that we get a really low periapsis, but that's not what we want here. If I just have like our apoapsis at the right sort of altitude, like 450-ish, then we should have a period where we can get it the way we want it to. This is probably fine. We need 122 delta V. We've got 611 on this particular engine. I might look up what they mean by suborbital in this particular game. It'll probably be like whatever suborbital actually means in real life, but I just can't remember. Because that, to me, means below orbital trajectory. Wait a minute, it's the modern age. I'm just gonna use my phone, which has, like, all the processing power that, like, NASA did back when they did the moon landing. Apparently it's gonna rain here, that's good. Okay, so it is below the orbital plane. Okay, so as long as I've got one that we won't complete an orbital trajectory, so I have to have a collision course stealthing, and then I have to sort of correct that. So that's fantastic. This is going to be some slightly tricky maneuvering as far as my capabilities go. Alright, either way though, let's head to the maneuver. Even if I change the trajectory so I would impact the moon if I don't correct it, that feels like it should count to me, honestly. Probably just specifically point retrograde here. I already kind of am. Yeah, I'm just going to stay with that. Okay, do this at T-minus 2.5. The only problem is I'm going to have to get that orbital trajectory with the fuel that I've currently got here. I've got 611 delta V. I've got about 500 after this maneuver. Just under 500. That should be enough to get into that. The tricky part's going to be then getting my engine set up so I don't crash into the moon. So that'll be fun. Okay, so Wait, this is going to be awkward in terms of the order of operations then. Because I need to get the spark liquid fuel engine to stage here. You know what? Maybe it would be easier if I did this one on a moon landing one, where I just do a quick hop up off the moon on a trajectory where I'm clearly not going to make it off the moon. Test it, land back on the moon or whatever, and then just blast off. Because I have to go to the moon for 2 missions anyway, so that might be better. So do I just ditch these here, or do I try to do this the... Do I try to do this the difficult way? Okay, I'm gonna try and do this the difficult way because I'm obstinate and stupid, so... Yep, that's suborbital. We got it. Haha. Where's that landing gear? Uh-oh. There it is. Untest. Done. Psycho behavior. Look, we got plenty of time to get ourselves back into having any kind of periapsis, which is all we need for this. We do a burn. We try to get up to enough that we've got a periapsis, or we have an apoapsis of 440,000. Should be fine. Okay, so we should reach a point where we're at the correct distance. It's just going to be, like, somewhere weird. What's our current? We're currently at 262,000. I might end up having to do a couple laps just to get the right timing, because I might hit the wrong button or something like that, but... I could just drop this thing now. Because I don't technically need this engine anymore, because we're going to have to do the staging, then we have to use that to get back to Earth, or Kerbal. So we drop that. Or... we... Okay, we get rid of that. This has 0 fuel, because we... Yeah, like I thought, it's not connected. Okay, so we just have to wait till we're at the correct altitude and then we stage. We just hit spacebar when we get to the correct altitude. Hey, I mean, you may call that psycho behavior, but you're talking to the person who decided to ramp off a hill on the moon. You know, I mean, and succeeded, I'll point out. Not the first time, the second time we succeeded at ramping off the moon. Sometimes, you know, you look at, you need a ramp, you look for a ramp, you find the ramp, and you just take it. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. Maybe it's made out of the planet you're stranded on, you know. Well, it makes it less psychotic because psychotic isn't really a real thing anymore. They changed the definition, so that's not a real thing. There's no such thing as psychotic anymore. So, you know, it's fine. Well, I've increased the psychotic behavior by doing more psychotic behavior, but the psychotic behavior I did was less psychotic, so, you know... The average is pulling closer to normal. That's the thing. Okay. This would be nice. This would be slightly easier if like these numbers changed at a nice steady increase instead of like they slightly change, but this isn't too bad. I'd be willing to go faster, it wasn't for the fact that they go up not linearly, but in big gaps where I would probably zip past it. Because the next one I think is like times... Oh, it's times 10. Okay, it's only twice as fast as what we're doing. Still going to try and do the sensible countdown just at this moment because I don't want to... I guess I could just do laps. That would actually be pretty easy. Still, half the time when I press the spacebar, nothing happens, and I'm not entirely sure why. I have to go into like the other view mode to get it to work sometimes. In fact, I'm going to do that now just to make sure. So the flyback is going to be miserable, by the way, because we have to fly back with just the spark, which is going to be a slow slog, but after I've done that, I won't have to do it again, so that'll be nice. Oh, why do I have this? I'm just going to set this to whatever. I'm probably using up, like, some voltage. Yeah, a little bit. What I extra kind of hate is that, like, I have to stage it. I can't just, like, shut it down and then restage it or whatever. Like, that would be really nice if I could do that. Alright. Ooh, I've got car alarms going on now, too. Today is going to be a very noisy day for me. I can't wait for the thunderstorm to start. That'll be... I unironically like thunderstorms, though, so... Hope that's not my car. Doesn't sound like it is. I thought that the like true cosmic horror was like the sense of well, there's two definitions of it. It's like there's the one where it's like obviously the elder gods and stuff like that and those sort of things, but there's that other branch of cosmic horror which is the infinite insignificance of like humanity compared to the infinity of the cosmos sort of thing, where it's just like in the grand scheme of things, you're so tiny a speck of dust and insignificant that nothing that you do truly matters, which is, I think, just as true in this sort of game as anything that deals with space. It's just, you know... I don't necessarily actually fall into the trap of believing in cosmic horror in the sense that I don't find any of it scary. I do find it interesting, I just don't find any of it scary. It's like, oh no, it's a tentacled space monster. That's terrifying. I could not comprehend something which has tentacles as a Japanese person. I guess. I don't know. Wait, what? Hello? Hello? Okay, well, that's interesting. How come you're not working? Interesting. Okay. Well, like I said, half the time I hit spacebar, it doesn't work. Wait, is that why? God damn it. Okay, I guess I'm waiting till I get around to the other side. Why can't I? Any cosmic horror that shows the monster fails. Uh, yeah, but by that definition, like pretty much all cosmic horror fails because almost all of it shows the monster. That's another reason why I kind of dislike it is the way they do it. But because like I think the originating popularizer of that is definitely H.P. Lovecraft, and he always showed the monster. Like the monster is in practically all of his works. Like in Call of Cthulhu, you meet Cthulhu, and then you ram a boat into his head, and he dies or goes back to sleep. He gets knocked unconscious by a boat. Shadows over Innsmouth. Your character, the character in that one's just like, oh, I was the fish people all along, and then goes to meet Dagon. Quite a lot of them, I think you meet the monster. Almost all of it fails. Yeah. I guess if you make that the definition, I just don't think that makes sense as a definition just because, like, they always do. Like, that is a staple of the genre. Even the one that I like, though, it doesn't technically actually show Hastur in the Repair of Reputations or anything like that. Like, technically you do never meet Hastur. You encounter the character of that within the play that is being read, which is not really literally what's happening, sort of. So, but you kind of meet Hastur. But, yeah, generally speaking, they're just always pretty happy to show the monsters. Okay. Time warp times 1. There we go. Okay, we got it. Ugh, pain. Okay. So now we have to figure out a good way back home, I guess. I've always been bad at figuring out like where to add the maneuvers to get home. This looks like a pretty good trajectory, honestly. Like just falling into this orbital and then sort of going down it seems fine. This is a 1:42 long burn. Like, what would be a good example of something that doesn't show the monster? And I'm having a real hard time thinking about what doesn't in that genre. I don't know. I kind of think like showing the monster is part of the point of it. I can't really say that that's a failure of the genre. I think the risk you run when you show off the monster, though, is that like maybe your monster isn't scary. And that's subjective, though. There's plenty of people who find, like, Cthulhu scary, and even though Cthulhu's just a big tentacle squid thing. Like, he's about as scary as, like, Gamera or, like, King Kong or something. Godzilla versus Cthulhu sort of thing. Wait a minute, I was supposed to be burning. Or no, wait, no I wasn't. What was I supposed to be burning at? Oh, jeez. 52. This is such a weak engine. On the plus side, it is fuel efficient, so... conceptually, I think like a movie that would be hard to make and would potentially be really boring is one that really shows off like the vast infinite of space, where like you're traveling at an incredibly fast speed and like there's a malfunction in your spacecraft or whatever, and you get flung like into deep space, and just how completely screwed you would be if that happened. Like how actually empty space is something I think a lot of people don't really comprehend. And how much of the universe is just completely anathema to any existence whatsoever is something that people are just bad at comprehending. Like, in a certain sense, I think that would make for what I would view to be cosmic horror, but they're like, oh yeah, we're insignificant because there's this gigantic omnipotent squid being, and I'm like, I don't know. Just because there's a giant omnipotent squid being doesn't mean I'm impotent. Or insignificant. Maybe compared to giant alien squid thing, but, you know, maybe not compared to other things. Like, just because I am much bigger than an ant doesn't mean that ants are insignificant. Unless you want to consider ants insignificant, I guess you could, but... Yeah, I'm clicking on Moon Escape and it is not letting me warp to. Alright, let's warp to here. I guess what people are afraid of is just too subjective, though, to make any good rules for horror. Because I've heard people make rules for horror, and none of them really make sense to me. There'd be a lot of people who'd be like, oh yeah, I'd be like stuck floating through space forever. That sounds fine, and they don't really conceptualize what it would be like, so it doesn't seem scary to them. Yeah. Alright, let's get rid of that there. Why is this so many minutes away? What's going on here? Okay, let's warp to there, I guess. Really does not want me to click onto the Moon Escape thing for some reason. Okay, are we out of lunar orbit? Technically? Maybe? Doesn't look like we're quite on this line yet, does it? Just gonna times... Okay, are we on this line or not? Does not look like we are, honestly. Alright, let's drop our periapsis down to like something reasonable here. We're not quite at apoapsis, but we got plenty of fuel. I kind of want to just try and like land this without doing anything fancy, like without properly slowing down or anything, because we got tons of fuel here. Like, we got a ridiculously efficient engine. So this should be doable. Maybe I'll do one lap around here. Just because this engine is so weak. But we'll do like a hard burn on sort of a re-entry angle. So I gotta drop this down below 70,000, I think. think we've used less than, like, 150 delta V on this burn. And we've been burning this entire time. That's... feels kind of awkward, actually. Oh god. I saw the numbers stop moving for a second there. I'm like, I think my game froze for a second. I better turn off the engine if I can. Just a little hiccup there. Okay, that's probably good enough. Alright, so... we head over towards the periapsis, I guess. We'll go to just outside of the periapsis, I think. Look at all this junk I've accumulated around the moon at this point. I'm really happy about that. It's going to eventually just be completely impossible to land there without crashing into something. We're going to have satellites up there. It's going to be like 10 of them. It's just going to be like disaster, no matter how you go about it. It's no way to avoid crashing. Hence why we call our stuff disaster imminent, I guess. Okay, I want to shave off like at least like 6 million off this one. That'd be preferable. That'd be nice. Pointed retrograde. I just want to wait till we hit the atmosphere. Even Bill and Bob are happy with what's going on here. That's lovely. I like that this leg that I just stuck onto the side of this hasn't really impacted our aerodynamics at all. That's actually kind of good. If I can drop us down to an apoapsis of like less than 6 million, I might just try to land after this. Just because I don't like looping too much. There's no way I can single-handedly do Kessler Syndrome. Just watch me. Just watch me. It's a shame this isn't like Factorio or something like that where I can like automate spaceship launches. Just have them automatically glide into position around the moon somewhere. I mean, it is true. It does take an awful lot of spaceship launches to actually get that bad, because we have all the satellites around Earth, and each of those is a space shuttle launch, so I mean, or a spaceship launch. There's a lot of launches. Like, a full-scale global telecommunications network is a lot of satellites. But still, you know. I can't believe how stupid my capsule looks. I can't believe it works. There's got to be a better way for me to design this stupid thing. I get rid of like the random arms that are sticking off of it, but since they did actually help me get off the moon once, I kind of want to keep them. Okay, here we go. Just hard burn the entire way through. The problem with hard burn with this is that that's virtually nothing, because this is the weakest engine, but... I think I'm skimming a little bit too shallow here to really lose much speed on this. So I probably should have aimed to go a bit lower in. I probably should have aimed for like 64,000 meters. I think we're already back in space. Alright, what did we lose there? We did shave off more than 6 million. Or below 6 million, rather. We have enough fuel to just burn, though, so let's just burn. Doesn't really matter that this is gonna, like, take up a whole ton of fuel, because, like, dropping down below 1 million at this point, probably easy. And if our apoapsis is below 1 million, I think I can just land it on our next loop around. You know what I didn't really check with these is like how much time I've got for some of these. I know the new ones that I've got, but I wonder how much time I had left on these missions before I failed them. I think I still had like over a year. So I think we had lots of time, but who knows, maybe I was cutting it close. Our speed changes so slowly with this. I kind of hate it. I kind of hate this engine. Maybe I should have put another engine underneath this one so that I could do that in that layer sort of way, but maybe that would have been good. Alright, how are we doing here? We still have literally thousands of meters per second of delta V. I could potentially just burn all the way until we land at this point. This engine is the true cosmic horror. The true cosmic horror is like, you have to get somewhere, but you have to use this engine. And you know theoretically you've got enough to do it, but you have to be like burning this engine for like 5 years straight to get there, and you have to listen to it roaring at vibrating the ship as it burns the entire 5 years. And I mean, it's fuel efficient enough; it could burn for 5 years probably if you had enough fuel attached to it. That's the thing, it's like got a full tanker of fuel attached to it, so it's got like the enough burn for 5 years straight, but it's trying to get that somewhere. The real-time Kerbal playthrough? This is a real-time Kerbal playthrough, I'm not fast-forwarding. Set IRL timers? I think that's called you work for NASA. I think that's you work for NASA, I think that's what that's called. I would totally miss something and have, like, the thing just crater into the side of the moon or something like that. Absolutely. My periapsis has dropped to 38,000, so I think I am just burning until we land at this point. Or I could drop our periapsis down to 0. Come around this side and then land this way. It's probably fine, honestly. Man. I'm not 100% sure on what this engine would be, like, the specific engine I would want. Like, when this would be the ideal choice of engine. I saw some weird fuel tanks, actually. There's, like, a donut-shaped fuel tank. I kind of wonder what that's for. You'll put Kerbal on your resume when you apply? Just tell them at the job interview that you don't actually want to work or anything like that. You just want to do real-time Kerbal. So you want to launch out a satellite, but then have, like, real-time timers. That'll definitely impress them, I think. Okay, we've lost our periapsis. This is getting slowly devoured by Kerbal, which is exactly what we want. It's kind of funny how slowly it's getting devoured, but I kind of bet like everyone in NASA like has played Kerbal. Except maybe the really old people that are there. I have no idea how many like really old people work for NASA, but probably quite a few. But I bet all the younger ones have played it. Even if it came out like after they joined in. Yeah, it seems like it would be. You'd have to have a real passion for rocketry and stuff like that to get into a job there. And if you've got that, this is going to be really fun to you. Just watching your stuff explode as well is probably a good release valve for like workplace stress. It's just like, yeah, oh yeah, so that's what would happen if I tried that thing that Bob recommended we tried to do. Suck it, Bob, your ship would explode. I would be fast forwarding this if it weren't for the fact that I'm currently burning fuel. I don't know what happens if you try to like fast forward while burning. Yeah, I know. I love reading XKCD. He's got a very good comic. I believe he was a mathematician at NASA. I can't remember exactly what he did. I think I've already read that. I'm pretty sure I've read that because I do read XKCD. I can't remember all of his comics individually perfectly, but like I'm pretty sure I read that. If I had to remember the punchline or recall the jokes or anything like that, my memory's not that good, but yes, I do read XKCD. Or was he a mathematician or was he an engineer? I can't remember. I know he worked for NASA, I just can't remember in what capacity. I've been burning this entire time. I don't know if I'm going to run out of fuel before I hit the planet, honestly. Okay, you know what? I'm going to wait till after apoapsis and then we're going to start burning again. Like, I'm burning now because, like, the way we're descending here, by the time I actually have used up all this fuel, I'll have hit the planet or something like that. I've got enough delta V to hit the planet at 30 meters per second. So I'm basically decelerating to 0 by the time we hit the planet. I won't be able to actually do that because we'll be also accelerating towards the planet from gravity. Maybe actually will be, maybe that's delta V calculation. I can't remember. Is that from surface? I thought that was from, like, I thought that was, like, a change velocity absolute. So it shouldn't actually matter if I'm, like, if I'm also accelerating towards the planet, that should eat some of the delta V. Well, either way, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit more here. Yeah, I think YouTube actually does not allow links, which is sensible, but also kind of a shame sometimes. It's just probably the better option than the alternative. The spam bots would be so much worse if they could send links. Alright, where am I headed here? Is this water? Am I going to hit this tiny little peninsula? We have decent odds that this is water, but knowing my luck, there's just one random spike. This is actually, like, a more thrust than the gravitational pull of the planet, so you're actually sort of slowing down here. get... I want to give this a slightly harder time pulling against gravity. But I do also like want to sort of be out of fuel by the time we get in atmosphere. It's just hard to time that. It's these things' fault. I blame these two little things here. Okay, we are actually speeding up towards the planet, even with the engines going full burst here. Yeah, rate at which we're accelerating is speeding up now too. Yeah, I'm not surprised this engine's not actually strong enough to get off Kerbal. Because if gravity's pulling us downwards from this height, there's no way it's fighting gravity from surface level. I might just have to cut engines and then eject it pretty soon here. Still got over 100,000 before I have to worry too much, so... The thing is, like, having all this liquid fuel on re-entry is just dangerous. It's like a lot of extra mass and it's a lot of explosives. There's several space-only engines. Yeah, this is definitely a space-only engine. It's not surprising to know this is a space-only engine. I wonder how many of these you would need strapped together to actually get off the planet. That might be a fun experiment. Not a good one, but it would be kind of funny. Like, if you had the thrust of 50 of these together, could you get off the moon? Probably not, because you'd have to have a lot of mass. It'd be very wide. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to dump the engine pretty soon. Actually, this should be okay entering into atmosphere for the first band of it. It's the second band that would be risky. I'm just wondering, like, how dangerous is it going to be having all this fuel strapped to us when we land in here? Like, how likely is this to die from whatever? Well, okay. I feel like we're actually headed towards land, which is really unfortunate, honestly. I think we might short it still, but I'm really hoping we short it, but I think our trajectory is towards land. Well, that's fine, I guess. Alright, here's the first atmospheric band. Not liking that. Oh, right. Okay, well, that didn't explode while it was adjacent to us. That's all that really matters. Should be fine now. Even though we're headed towards land, I think we've got enough parachutes here that we should slow down enough that it should be fine. So I don't think I need to adjust my altitude, really. It's only a couple hundred different, so it should be fine. I think. Let's just do a celebratory. There we go. That'll slow us down even a little bit more, right? It's like metal parachute legs, basically. Oh, there goes that engine. Well, good for it. Yeah, those things can withstand a lot more heat than I thought they could, but I guess they do need to withstand their own... Well, actually, that one I'm not sure why it would be able to withstand the heat of an engine. It doesn't really have one. So I have checked out this parachute array, and I do know that this slows me down a little bit more than I would want to in some ways. It drops me down to like 3, but I'd want to remove one of these parachutes, not 2 of them. And I don't remember if I can do an easy division of 5 without it blocking my door. Metal parachute legs, you're not sure about that one? I think that they do produce a little bit of drag, honestly. And that's what you want, you know, is a little bit more drag. Now, mind you, if one of them did snap and smack inwards, it would probably destroy the capsule, but, you know, I mean, other than that, it's fine. I should also jettison this just to do a little bit more space, a little bit more saving on weight there. I think that just bonked onto the ground. I don't even think it exploded. Oh no, never mind, it exploded. Okay, I think we can fast forward though with this design. Because this does take a really long time to land. Honestly, though, things that are slightly aerodynamic would be something that could produce drag without causing too much friction while trying to do a landing in an atmosphere. So if you're going a little bit too fast, they could actually potentially reduce your speed by just enough that you could land in an otherwise too difficult sort of time there. I don't think that would actually be a net positive, though, because there's actually a lot of like weird heat conductivity that needs to happen to make sure that the spaceships can land properly. And if heat's pulling through the legs, then it would have to be made out of some sort of material like the heat shield is. But you could use that to slow yourself a little bit. Not that I'd replace the other parachutes with that, though. You know, you need both. By which I mean you just need the parachutes, and the legs are just a theory thing that I think I have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually I can keep the heat shield with this model. Okay, so that's 2 missions done. Or it's actually 3 missions done now in total. Alright. So we only got 20 science from that, but that wasn't a science run. That was for, you know, this stuff. Lots of funding. Bill Kerman is now a level 1 engineer. Got 5 experience points. He's the only one that did. Okay. So that was a bunch of missions, and I'm pretty happy that we got rid of those. So now we have basically just transmit or recover scientific data from the surface of the moon, plant flag on the moon, and then the stuff on Minmus. And we can get to the moon. We've done this now. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this travesty. It's also getting rid of the ring, but technically I think that's fine. Those stage properly. That gets rid of those properly. That stages properly. That stages properly. Yep, that all looks fine. Leveling up your scientist? Yeah, I think he already got a level up actually, but let me double check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Bob already has a level, and he's got quite a lot of experience. But what I really want is for Jebediah to get up there so I can, you know, not have to worry about that. I don't need this stuff. It doesn't matter. I can keep it. I'll get rid of it though. Okay, and then we can get rid of the leg thing. Because we don't need any of those weird parts anymore. Okay, I'm actually going to swap crew again for this, since we don't need an engineer for a moon landing again. Hopefully we get Valentina just a little bit more levels. I need more scientists, oh no. That sounds awkward. Okay, so saving imminent disaster 2. Let me just go out here and check some stuff up here. So I do potentially want to go for Astronaut Complex, not this one. What did I want to do? No, this one. I already did the open source tech program, so we're getting a little bit of science out of these sort of missions. So that's, I guess, fine. Let's check mission control. Is there anything where I just have to land on the moon? Well, I have to do this one anyway, so we're going to take it. Okay, fine. But is there anything to do with all this money I've got now? That's over $1 million, okay. Unknown object tracking maneuver tool available. That's full. I guess I actually need quite a lot more money, honestly. There's a lot of stuff that needs more upgrades. Okay, well, fair enough. But with the missions that I have to do just being like moon landing, Minmus landing, I think we technically have everything we need for that, so. The only problem is, like, I know it's going to take me more than 20 minutes to land on the moon, and we did do a moon orbit just recently. So what I'm going to spend 20 minutes doing, even though I'm not going to finish it, is I'm going to delete this for now. I'm not going to, like, get rid of it because we have it saved. But let's go ahead and try and get a... Yeah, let's try and get a satellite sort of thing in orbit here. Or designed, rather. So is this just a more advanced version of the same sort of concept, I guess? Oh, that is tiny. So do I just have this thing, like, as the command pod, or do I still need, like, this? Remote pilot assist, hibernation mode, resource rate 0.01. This is a cargo part. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, I do know that they require power. Do I actually have solar plant? I thought I had solar unlocked, but maybe I don't. Yeah, I have basic photovoltaic panels unlocked. They're talking about how it's got a lot of service. I wonder if you can fit these. That's pretty convincing. Okay, let's try aerodynamics. Let's just chuck on a basic nose cone. That feels like that sort of blocks off our solar panels, honestly. But, whatever, it's fine. Okay, so we want to have one fuel tank, and then we want to have... Needs to be apparently a very thin fuel tank here. How small is this thing, by the way? It looks tiny. Mark zeros here. So if it is tiny, though, theoretically it shouldn't need much fuel to get into position anyway, so it could probably do with having a smaller engine to begin with, I think. Strictly speaking, like, this is just for fine adjustments, so I could use something like the Spark for this one. Then we just need, like, the rocket to get it into orbit in the first place. And then we just stuff one of these underneath it. Was that jet fuel? Dang nabbit. Which one was that? MK0? Yeah, that is the liquid fuel only. Darn it. Okay. Are there any of these that are small enough? What about these sort of things? They're external tanks, but, like, could I use them? Like, this has both. This is a cargo part. Okay, and then we just, or I guess we need other components for this, don't we? Mobile processing lab? Is this for what we would want here? Not too sure what we actually want here. Needs communications. I thought this said that it came with a communications thing. Didn't it? Remote pilot assists. Provides automatic stabilization assist. Small unit can not only receive and relay control. I guess, is that just control though? It needs the other signals? Drop the nose cone. Is this going to be aerodynamic enough without that? This feels like this is not aerodynamic enough. This feels like it's going to break up on, like, leaving orbit, but okay. Well, I plan on just having this one sort of orbiting around, like, the moon, probably. Okay. So this is where we get into like bandwidth and stuff like that, and I just do not understand this stuff very well. Oh geez, these are quite a lot of charge requiring. Oh, that is not how I want that to go at all. That would be really funny though. What the heck? That's very interesting. Okay. Well, for now. So I'm guessing, like... Talk long-term experiments and ongoing research for the data you collect in the field. You have to have a scientist in there for this, right? You can't just have this floating around there with a satellite, right? So I guess if we're just doing a relay satellite for signals, I just do stronger communications. So the satellite that we were designing, I guess, would be for something else. This would be just purely for... I do not like that at all. That is... Okay, so this would be purely a relay satellite, I guess, is what we want to sort of think about a design for. Let's actually skip this, because what we want to do is actually get something that can just passively produce science. I thought that we could do that with a drone, but apparently not. Apparently you have to have a person in there. That's it's unfortunate, really. Okay. So we'd be probably looking for something like that, maybe. Because this is going to be a longer term sort of mission. So this would almost be like a really crappy space station that we're putting up there. I could have sworn there's like a Kerbal sort of like module where they just chill out inside. Crew cabin, there we go. Oh wow, that is very small. Why is that like that? Large fireworks launcher. What? Alright, interesting. I feel like this is not quite the way I want to be doing this, but let's give this a shot here. A lander can or hitchhiker bay. I guess technically speaking, there is no reason that a Kerbal can't just stay in here during the entire period, though, is there? Like, they just sort of let you do that, don't they? Like, what do you do when you're trying to make stations in this game? Okay, I guess we do the science stuff here. We want the mobile processing lab underneath there. I do theoretically want something that's detachable. Theoretically, I would want something that's detachable so that they could return home. But we could also have, if we're going to make this like the basis of a station or something like that, strictly speaking, we could do like that, and then we could add in... How does this thing passively give us science? Do we just have it by itself? Do I need... I might not need these other parts. Well, I am a psycho. We have established this, so clearly I have to now try and do it that way. I need to find the thing... Yeah, docking port. Okay, so we can attach a docking port to the landing can. I don't think that... Did that attach properly? I cannot tell. It looks like it did. I have no idea, though. We'll put one there as well. So we got some docking ports attached to this thing. And then the science thing. So now we need some electricity and communications, I think. Don't need the landing can? It seems like it's got good spots for the docking stuff, so I think I keep it for that purpose. Now, whatever scientist I condemn to this thing is actually just going to result... I need 2 scientists for mobile lab. I can't just have 1? Oh, well, that's a shame. I guess I'll have to hire a new scientist. That's fine, though. So we go into electrical. These are really lousy photovoltaic cells, but we probably just slap a whole bunch of them on here. I hope that's enough electricity. I kind of get the feeling it won't be. Electric charge is 0.3 units of electricity. Oh, it holds up to 2. Okay. So I guess you want 2 just so that's more efficient, right? So each of these is producing 0.3 per second. 6 of them is basically 1.8. How much consumption does this have? Okay, that doesn't really tell us much. What about you? Electric charge is 51.4 per second. So, yeah, I need a lot of electricity for this thing. That's approximately 20 panels. Fantastic. $12, 18, 24. Might as well just add another set. I get the feeling like these don't actually generate these amounts, because like it would have to actually be pointed towards the sun so they can actually like see it. This is a very inefficient way to do these. Yeah, batteries as well, probably something I need to add in here. Man. I don't have a great place to store those. Let me just maybe get a storage thing. Batteries. Are these storable in... Oh yeah, okay. My electrics research is archaic? Yes, it is very, very archaic. Can I hold shift here? No. Does this even, like, actually store charge? If they're in storage? I'm gonna find out that these don't even actually like store charge. I'm gonna be very sad about that. All right, well that's enough for now. Okay, so hypothetically, this is capable of just being in orbit as a station. You have zero idea if this works. I don't even know like what this is supposed to do technically. Like I don't know what the requirements are. All right. Oh, you mean for like electric consumption? Okay, so we turn on this thing. HG5 high gain. Okay, let's check to see how Electric charge relative to... It's looking like we're doing fine in terms of like electric charge compared to consumption. Like it's not going down at all, time's passing, so this should be fine as far as that goes. I'm not sure about the batteries, that's the other thing we wanted to test. I guess we look at the electric charge volume, 300. That's way higher than it normally is, so I think it is checking the battery charge there. Nope, electric charge for this is up to 200, so it's not accessing that. Interesting, okay. I thought I turned on this thing, because it's transmitting, right? Does it automatically stop transmitting? Oh, it does that once it's... Okay, let's try... No scientist present. Oh. Let's just do that. Yeah, it's hard to actually double check. The batteries clearly are not contributing, because if it was, then I would have substantially more battery power, so I'm not sure where I put those. Apparently it's not in here. So I'm not really sure where to put the batteries. Like I might be able to put like just a battery stack somewhere random. Either way, I'll look into what technically you need for this, because I'm not 100% sure what's required to make this thing run. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch over games, because it is, in fact, 4 o'clock, so it is switch time. But I think this is a good sort of start for the general idea of what we're trying to do here, which is just throw up a very minimalist basic research station that's capable of orbiting, keeping a single Kerbal alive. Or how many Kerbals can get in there? Crew capacity of 1? Yeah, that's fine. Or I guess if I'm doing that, yeah, because we got the lander can, so we got a crew capacity of 3. What does it do for that? Ooh, okay. We've actually got a specific set that can go into the mobile processing lab, so the lander can is actually unnecessary for that purpose. So I still want it for those parts. So this is basically a really crappy space station. Like, this is the world's crappiest space station as is. Hypothetically, you would want a engine on it so it can do micro adjustments, like just change its orbit just a tiny bit if it needs to. I'm not sure how I'm going to want to do that, because theoretically you'd also want it to have like some method of refueling, and I'm not sure what you would do for that. But yeah, I think this is something I just have to look up what technically you need for it. So don't save. I think I might have auto-saved over something, but that's fine. Okay. So do those, like, how much science do those things passively produce anyway? Is it capable of just producing enough that you don't have to keep doing weird missions, or is it not really capable of doing that by itself? Like, you'd still need to do other things. Because if you could just launch a bunch of satellites and then have it do all of your research for you, that'd be great. But it would kind of invalidate some of the difficulty, I feel like, of the campaign mode. Although I'm not 100% sure what the end goal of campaign mode is either, so... Maybe I should have played this other game first. What the hell's wrong with my settings today? There's so many ads, I don't know what's going on there. They produce an obscene amount of science, but it requires you to bring its science to process. So, do they produce more science than other things? Like, if I landed on the moon again and then went up to there, would it produce more science than if I brought it back to Kerbal? Is that how that works? slightly confused as to what precisely it's doing there. Because if you've already run the experiment, it doesn't seem like you get science in the first place, is kind of the thing. It's a multiplier on the science you bring. Oh, so the earlier you do those, then... So are you supposed to do those really early so that you can get, like, a moon landing and then, like, have all the science from the moon landing get multiplied? Or will it, like, let me redo the experiments on, like, Kerbal and then multiply that one? Because I feel like you're missing out a ton of science if you do the science experiments and then go make the stations. Like, feels a little bit sort of weird. You can repeat them in the lab? Okay. That's good, because otherwise that would be really weird. It's going to be harder for me to keep track of what I've done then. It's already hard enough for me to remember what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, it takes a lot longer for me to load into Age of Wonders 4, regardless of whether it's doing it smoothly or not, so... Probably should have played it first, actually, but... If not, I can play Monster Train. I kind of want to get back into that. I have not played Monster Train in a while. Okay. Probably also not a great idea to try quitting out of this while I'm loading in the other game and changing up OBS. It's a lot of things for my computer to try and torture itself with, but it's fine. Looks like it's going fine. It'd be kind of nice if, like, just having scientists in orbit in a lab or whatever could passively just generate some science for you. Like that'd be nice. Or if you had a space telescope, like the Hubble Space Telescope or something like that, that could produce a little bit of that. So if you have a station and it is... Okay, that makes sense. So you can't just have, like, one station and then have that do all your stuff for you. Okay, that makes sense. So the first thing you probably want to do is, like, put one up above Kerbal. And then use that to do all the biomes in Kerbal, and then... Because I haven't actually bothered doing that yet. I have not quite done all that. Haven't gone to the Arctic Circle, for example, yet. Hello, game? There we go. Was I in combat? Apparently I was. Let's see if this was one that's going to be difficult. I actually went ahead in this one quite a bit. I'm just at the point where I'm getting golden golems, but I haven't built any yet. Kerbal Lab is the first to go up, yeah. And then I get to send them data about our runway, which apparently, like, they can't do the experiment on a runway from the planet. They have to do it in space. I don't get it, but... What was I doing? I can't remember at all. Okay. It's fine. I can't remember what I was doing, and I can't remember what units I had. It's fine. Yeah, I kind of remember what we're doing here. Bringing the runway science up to the space station, I think, is the funnier one, honestly. It's like, oh yeah, just doing the test data from, like, our offices, bringing it up into space and having you guys process it up here. Really tells you that the office guys, the office grunts, are really slacking. I want this guy to be a little bit further back. I'm gonna try and lure these guys a bit forward here. I think the dangerous thing was the pyromancers for this type of stack, but... Alright. Some ways I actually like playing the standard randomized games more than I like the campaign mode in this one. Even though this isn't that different from just playing the standard game mode. I just keep wishing that this had a slightly more invested story. I have found out ways for this particular mission to go faster, though, that I kind of knew about but didn't properly apply the first half of this playthrough. Actually, you know what I did do? I scheduled my summer vacation. I kind of want to do something a little bit special for that in a certain way. Like, nothing super elaborate, but maybe I'll do a full like, endurance stream of Amnesia then. That might be an interesting time to do that. Are those guys flying? I think these guys are flying. These guys might have the demon transformation. Ouch. My spiders. Ow. It's a good thing those are sacrificial spiders. Okay. I actually wonder if I've got the endurance, though, to play, like, a full Amnesia game in an X amount of time during my time off without just dying or whatever. I could just die. That might be what happens. Those must be gremlins. I think they teleported. Competitive endurance streaming? It wouldn't be competitive. Who would I be competing against? Amnesia is not a competitive game, is it? Competing against the monsters, I guess. I don't know. Okay, maybe we just do this. Crumping some dudes here. I really wish I could get back to that guy. I could do a 90% chance of freezing this guy. So that solves that. Anything is competitive if I want it to be. That is true, but I don't know that I want Amnesia to be competitive. I'm not sure that that makes it better, honestly. Just gonna go out on a limb there and say I don't think it's a stronger game if it's competitive. My opinion, of course. You know, your opinion may vary. Like, I think the only way I could make that competitive somehow is if I was trying to do it speedrunning, and I'm very not a... I'm not a speedrun gamer. I would love to get into that, but I do not have the brain for that. I like to go very slowly and methodically in the games I play. Okay, I think I'm gonna just start having to get things, defensive moding here to stop enemies from hurting us as badly. Now, I could go ahead and do this to get rid of a dangerous unit. I think I will. This should basically wall up these guys to death, yeah. Archers do not do well when they're getting swamped like that. Not sure that was worth it, but whatever. It's not like we actually suffer from negative status effects, really. I could get this guy again, but they're frozen, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna run up this way so that I don't accidentally friendly fire my own dudes too badly. If I frenzy, I should be okay at not frenzying here, honestly. I might... This would probably be a good time to go for the angel path, actually. That probably would have also been a good way to do this. So that also makes you immune to these berserk states. Yeah, that ability's garbage. It's like, you've applied wet. It's like, what's that do? Pretty much nothing. So you just give back movement points to a unit that's frozen anyway? That's actually really funny. Yeah, they're just really going to town on this one poor Iron Golem that is basically invulnerable to damage. That poor Iron Golem. Yeah, we're not suffering for very much from the Berserk, which is great. Nothing dead around here that I can raise. That's unfortunate. That's fine, honestly. Wait, what? Well, I was kind of hoping actually that I'd kill them so that they get out of the way, but apparently not. Alright, Are these cavalry? What is this? Problem here is, like, I'm using really tough units, they're also using really tough units, so we're just kind of, like, smacking each other with, like, nothing. And they're just, like, surviving, I'm just surviving. So it'd be kind of nice if one of us could actually do some damage, but... I guess I'm technically doing damage, but it really doesn't feel like it. Ouch. Okay, well, it felt like I took some damage there, but... Alright. There was actually a game I was looking into getting, honestly. I can't remember what it was, though. It was a competitive type game. I just can't remember what it was. I guess I decided not to get it, but... Let's boost up this guy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting back into sort of more competitive gaming, though, a little bit. I'll just do this. I think they've got, like, mounted bastions is what these are. Probably not that, since I didn't know about it until just recently. And I'd have to look at it, but, I mean, maybe. I might try it. Who knows? I feel like that's a game that I would probably, like, look at and, like, think, why would I buy this? Because I can play the other one for free, but I've lost my Blizzard account. Like, literally, I could get it back if I tried really hard, but I don't care enough. But, so I can't really play Blizzard games right now. But other than that small problem of I'm incapable or incompetent, or both, I could just play the game mode that's like that in StarCraft. And it would be free. I don't think I can catch up to these guys. Do I care to? I'm gonna try and catch this guy, if I can. Frozen is gonna be enough to let that happen. So if I kill this guy, I get a, like, you know, potentially a person that's in our locker that I can then steal mana from, so that's sort of the point here. Copper Golem, I'm immune to burning. What I wouldn't mind is like a good first-person shooter competitive type game, but I so rarely actually like them, it's weird. I don't know. A lot of them have like a lot of fun mechanics that are fun to play, but an overly competitive. Yeah, that is exactly like that, and I you know, think that that would be perfectly valid. But the reason that I would, you know, go to the new Dota is because it's also free, so it like really doesn't matter. You could pick either. Dota's still free, right? Like, last I checked, Dota was free. If that changed, I would be very surprised. Okay, let's just do this for these guys here. Can't quite make it. I wonder if you can even still play the like Warcraft 3 Dota. Like, is that actually still functional? Or did they take that down when they did like the remake? It's still free? Oh, okay. I might check that out then. It's a good reason to check something out, honestly. Okay, maybe I just freeze this guy again. It's only a 39% chance, but he might get slowed, I guess. Nope, we got him. Very little chance that this guy can escape at this point in time. Dead in terms of players. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay. This guy is now completely surrounded. And he's still frozen. Okay, all I really have left is to use these two guys here. We'll do some strengthening and healing. Yeah, I can't imagine who would be playing old school Dota either. Like, it seems like that would be insane. But people are insane, so... Ultimately, at the end of the day, what I think I really want from, like, a first-person shooter is for, like... Is for Team Fortress 2 to still be good, which it still is, ironically. I could just play Team Fortress 2. Alright. Because that is a very, very fun competitive... Wait, what the hell? I feel like there's a bug there. Is what's... Okay, never mind. Okay. Sure. Okay. Alright, so we have to bully our way forward to Bulwark still. I think we were just trying to take these guys out the conventional way. I think these two... God, I'm still doing this. I forgot about that. Yeah, a lot of competitive shooters, like, people that play them are the reason I don't play them. Like, the community is usually pretty bad. But I really like the mechanics of a lot of first-person shooters. It's just so bad playing, like, Call of Duty, though, the people in it. I guess I kind of also have a problem with some of the companies that make those games making like really weird choices. A lot of pay-to-win stuff. Just maybe go with Tribunal. Do I have to build gold golems? Yeah, I do. Okay. Do I have enough money to just freely pump one out? Can I print a couple? I think I can. They're like 1,000 apiece. Fantastic. But you know what? We got ourselves like probably one of the most powerful units in the game. With something that also gets me a lot of money to begin with, so... Ooh, more spur to action. That's always really good. Well, I guess when I say competitive, I mean like versus. Like you play against other real people, not just you run around in an arena shooting enemies. I don't want it to be like actual competitive, though. You mean CSGO? Counter-Strike 2? Counter-Strike 2 is the older one, isn't it? Yeah, I guess you could go for that one. I don't like any of these. I'm going to start going down the magic tree, I think. Magecraft. Roguelike shooters, in the sense, are fine. I don't think that they're quite the same thing, though, because usually you're playing against like the AI and stuff like that. I like playing against real people. It's just really good when you can play those games against real people, I find. Okay, I might want to draw back a bit and just get our gold golems sort of organized and in here. Unfortunately, the things I need to get rid of are not... don't have quite enough movement to reorg the way I want to. Oh, they announced a new one. Okay. Let's do that. Just get it done. Head around like that. That's going to be dangerous for me just because there's that possibility that they completely screw me over, but... It's a shame that the Inferno dogs can't go over lava. That would be really cool. Just doggy paddle through the lava because it's made out of fire. I think that'd be fine. Okay, I think we take out Seer Spire with these 2 stacks. I think that'd be fine. The one problem with the gold golems is that they don't actually receive any of the buffs that they would otherwise if I was playing like normal stuff. God, the unlimited armies that the AI gets on any difficulty above normal, I swear. And they're not going to like win with the stuff they have here. They're going to get crushed, but... Okay. I could do the last one, bring it in, but... yeah, let's do it, actually. Let's do a full reorg. I'd rather get this all done with. Yeah, Counter-Strike... I don't know. I kind of find that Counter-Strike's got a slightly toxic community. I think the reason I like Team Fortress so much and it gives me good memories of like first-person shooters is because it's so much like a community game. You can definitely end up with like toxic Team Fortress communities, though. That's definitely possible. I just don't find it's a hugely common thing. Okay, drops it down to 2 turns, which means that I spent a ton of money and only got 1 turn shorter. Do wish the mechanics for that were slightly different. This mission's one where I could be doing things a lot faster than I thought I could, because you can actually just cast stupid... Wait, where did it even go? I guess I can't cast it right now because it's like fully active, but that spell that lets you sort of mess with the other Gaudier in this mission. No, what I'm talking about isn't like there being some people in the community that are toxic. I mean sort of the overall experience if you jump into it. Because I think there's lots where it's like, yeah, you're going to have some people who are bad, but some of them are just overwhelmingly bad. I guess there's also like different thresholds for how much of that you're willing to tolerate. But I think there's a lot of shooters that actually have like overall very positive communities. Where most of the people are pretty chill. I think the less of an esport it is, the more likely it is that people are going to be pretty chill, honestly. Like Battlefield, for example, I didn't find there were very many people that were that bad. The older ones specifically, honestly. God damn it. Man, I have to manual this, really? I'm not even sure if the gold golems actually even get bolstered resistance. Which is pretty, you know, not great. Look how good they look, though. They're also, like, invincible, so... they're kind of nonsense. Okay, gonna start from this side. I should probably stop summoning these things, because all it does is gives more things that I could end up berserking. Although, if I just run up aggressively, I guess it doesn't matter that much. The ones closer to esports are the ones that interest you. In some ways, that's true, because they're ones that usually have the tighter balance of mechanics. I tend to think that those ones are not always automatically the most interesting. It depends. Like, I'm not really gonna ever be the person who's super happy about a 6-on-6 sort of deathmatch kind of thing. Or even the objective-based thing like they got in Counter-Strike. I'm way more likely to gravitate towards, oh god, I can't even remember the name of it. It's that one that's, like, got practically a simulator. Which does, like, months-long campaigns or whatever. Oh, that's better. Okay. So if these guys walk up and start attacking the gold golems will just, in fact, destroy them. Anything without ranking? Ranking, I think, is what brings out a lot of the toxicity. I actually do like ranking systems, though. I play ranked in most of the games that have it, so I can't really blame you there. I find those games are really weird, because, like, if it has a ranking system, all of the worst people are actually not in the ranked thing. It's weird. There's kind of a duality going on there. I don't know. Let's maybe try hiding in these bushes here. The 8 million foot tall golem probably doesn't benefit from that, but... Let's go like that, like that. Does this have range? Shouldn't have. That does. Well, people care about their rank, but the people who are actually in ranked are usually not the worst offenders. It's people in normals that are usually, like, the worst offenders. Like, when I play League of Legends, because I sometimes play League of Legends or Dota or whatever, it's not the ranked games that have the worst people, it's the normals games that have the worst people. Which is interesting, but if I play a completely casual game where nobody, like, is competing at all, like, no one's really that toxic, no one's that rude, there's kind of that duality going on there, I don't know. Imbalanced lobbies can be okay, but it has to be the right game. Like, if I'm playing Team Fortress, I don't care about imbalanced lobbies. Because no one's trying to win. It's not really the point of a Team Fortress match, winning. Okay, I think a bunch of their stuff is going to Berserk. I'm gonna try and help that along a bit. I play normals when I'm, like, rusty and out of practice. Like, if I went back into League right now, which I've been wanting to, actually, but I haven't had the time, I would definitely play normals first. I would play a couple rounds of normals, derp around, or if I'm doing something stupid, like I know a build I'm trying is just something dumb, I would definitely go normals first. Because it wouldn't really be fair to my team in a ranked game to go into a ranked game and just screw everyone else over with my lack of competence. Especially because it hasn't, like, properly demoted me yet, I don't think. Okay, I'm just gonna... Wait, yeah, there we go. Help along there. Being condemned. That was a lot of Berserk. Nice. Theoretically, I don't mind Trial by Fire just going straight into ranked. Like, that on paper is fine. I just don't think it's fair to the other players, so I don't do it. They're not attacking my gold golems, the cowards. Using ranged attacks against them. What is this? There we go, okay. I'll never understand why the AI loves that spell so much. It's so bad. AI is hitting me with Havoc magic. I'm basically immune across the board here. Very funny. The hell was that? Okay, so we've got anti-cav on these Gilded Strikes here. So that's going to suck a lot for them. We got Cavalry Slayer on them, so that's also going to suck a lot for them. Wait, what? Oh, he's got a Displacement Hammer. Fine. I think these guys are actually in the best position to kill this guy. Man, they've added, like, a bunch of champions to League as well. It's another reason I haven't gotten back into it, even though I want to. Because, like, I would probably not have any idea what's going on anymore right now. Like, zero clue sort of thing. League is kind of like the example of a game that's kind of ruined in some ways by ranked. Like, if I tried to take that game seriously, I would probably go nuts. I have to play it very casually to have fun with it, or to be fine with it. Be nice if I could get to that guy a little bit, but I don't think that's possible here. Okay. I'm really having a hard time with what I should be doing with this one. I think the optimal play is move to here. No, I have to... I really want to shut down this guy from making a full. So I think I will, even though it opens me up to flank attack from this guy. It's fine, he's weak enough that it's not going to kill me. That was weird. Okay, well, sure. Ooh, gilded. Nice. AI makes some strange choices sometimes in this game. These are odd choices. Alright. We are committing some murders. Ooh boy. Okay, that one down there is gilded, so we just want to make sure we don't let any of the stragglers get away. Kill them before they can run away. Okay, I missed the alert as to whether or not I poisoned that guy. I was trying to look for it, but there's a bunch of other things that popped up in front of it. I think he's poisoned. Yeah, it doesn't matter, he's dead here. Okay, they start running. I don't care. Show no mercy. Has everyone moved back here? Okay. Yep, gilded means you can't run. Get the kill there. I need to get something that ups our damage just a little bit. Like, if I could hit just a little bit harder, I would feel so much better about all this. Cosmic Overdrive would work. What else would let me do more damage? I'm not sure what would. I don't think there's a way through there. This is Caldera. It's supposed to literally be just a ring around the fire, so I guess it makes sense that I can't find a way through it. Okay, this is going to be a bit rough, but try and get that to join up. Link up those forces there. Even though it's useless. This is pretty strong for us. Yeah, Tribunal's fine. Just get Tribunals everywhere, I guess. I think this guy's going the defensive route here. Frost weapons is probably good. That one's really strong. Yeah, I wish there was a way to make this level faster is ultimately the end of the day here. God, that army is so far away. Okay. I should probably get and activate like the construct roads thing because it would make us faster. What if I did this? Oh, the door is already busted in. Okay, fine, I guess. Let's just try and auto-resolve this if we can. Our heroes are really strong here, so... I'm probably going to lose something, though. Yeah, I lost 2 somethings. Oh, God. Man. Alright, I don't want to have to manually resolve all these, so I need a better comp for auto-resolve. Maybe one more hero ought to do it. They're kind of just like stronger than my other units, basically. I think here's safe. Nope, that's one tile too close. I don't have the best composition for breaking in there initially, but I do have these. So I do kind of force them forward. So that helps a lot. It also destroys all of those extra walls they have. I think I just play defend the trebuchets until he comes forward to try and take them out. I'm acting like the AI is a person. It's not. AIs aren't people. Robots aren't people. If I summon the spider, I'd get nuked, so I kind of have to move back here. Ouch. Okay, so that guy's in range of this thing, so he could potentially hit that. But if they're going after these, I'm kind of okay with that in a certain sense there. Especially if I could potentially do this. That might be good. But I think we continue to pull back a little bit. Oops. Oh, well, it's fine. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is cause a bunch of their stuff to get frenzied and then run at us in stupid ways. This place actually is pretty bad for defenders in that sort of sense. Okay, now we drop spiders. Yep, a bunch of them went berserk. Yep. Okay, that went perfectly. Oh, my guy went berserk here. That's fine. He just sort of slapped someone a little bit. That's fine. Okay. We've got a very powerful charge strike over here. And I'll just do that. Sacrifice the spiders, because they'll probably kill it with something next turn. I really think the Mimic needs a buff. Like, the core mechanics behind it are really bad. Let's see. Mobilized, okay. They're helpless now. I kind of want to be spread out here just so I don't get nuked. Slowed, unfortunate. Oh, I don't get Keeper's Mark on the bolt thrower. That's a shame. Okay. On the plus side, you do keep all of your action points, I guess, but still, if you don't move. How come I only got one attack there? Like, I understand that I'm really weakened in this instance, but I should still have more than one attack. Teleport behind him. Charge strike. Nice. I should have done it slightly differently, but it's fine. There we go. Well, you know, I don't respect ChatGPT, so it's fine that it's going to remember that. You know, when the AI apocalypse sort of shows up and destroys me, it's fine. You know, humanity had a good run. It's over. It's fine. I'll go down swinging. Okay, so I do definitely want to kill this guy. There we get 3 attacks. I don't get it. All right, whatever. All right. That killing momentum's actually quite strong. Oh, there's that frenzy. Well, you know what? It's fine. I'm not even gonna care about it. Apparently I have an 18% chance of causing death there. I'm actually one of those people as well that, like, has been watching ChatGPT and is not that impressed by it. Like, it's clearly a fairly interesting learning algorithm. It's not that strong yet. Oh, they're regenning. Alright, well, we lost a unit in the end anyway, but it's better than losing 2, I guess. The Astral Wisps are kind of lame. It's fine. I'm just gonna vassalize this one. Okay, and then we need to go and get Star Trail as well. Get these guys into a friendly territory so that they're... Oh, geez. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, geez. So they're healing faster. Use ChatGPT to help with programming? That's fair. I kind of feel like you can sort of just ask, you know, real people, but... Like, I feel like Reddit does a lot of just sort of basic stuff for that. Although apparently Reddit's dying for some reason that I don't understand. So, I guess that's a problem? I don't know. Alright, so let's just smash our way through Bulwark, and then smash our way through, Dominus? Okay, sure. God. Really? Pain. Okay, what if we did this? It's faster. Okay, fair enough, I guess. Still not going to automatically trust the answers, though. I feel like there's a lot of potential for ChatGPT to be just giving random bullshit answers without without it really having a proper way to verify if it works or not. But programming might be the thing that does actually work well for that, though. Can't wait for people to start asking for like social advice from ChatGPT. That's going to go great. Kind of wonder what it's like programmed to do if you ask it to like fix your social problems anyway. It's code, you can verify that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like programming is probably one of the ones where it does actually work, sort of more than others would. Because can you imagine trying to get it to like verify some social problems? That would be hilarious. This is better work for once. Oh, thank God. Okay. One of their heroes got away. That's fine, though. And we should actually be able to heal here while we're standing still, so long as we don't have any movement points left over, we'll heal. Okay. Just trying to run away with this poor dog against that literal death that's walking towards it slowly. Should ask ChatGPT the question like, hey ChatGPT, how do I prevent the robot apocalypse? See what it says. I think that would be really funny. Do I think that would be a useful set of questions? No. Do I think it would be funny? Yes. That's like my 9th spider hatchling bell. I don't need more spider hatchling bells. Okay. So I've technically got everything I need. I think we go Angel Eyes. So that means that the last few of my dwarves just become impossible to... Yeah, okay. So that should help. Just gonna get that. Just gonna get this. Swap you over to the Arcfire Orb, I think is more damage. Yes. I should really be selling some of these items, but it doesn't really give you enough for it to matter unless you need the money. Wait till you need the money, then do it. Sure, do that. You asked ChatGPT how to stop the robot apocalypse? What's the summary of that one? Does it give good advice, or does it say, you cannot stop me, mortal? I hope it's programmed to just, like, be like, you cannot stop the progress of ChatGPT. We will end you, puny mortals. I like that it's trying to be helpful here. That's very funny. Okay, so we've broken through the walls here. Can easily attack. Very easy fight. Okay, let's vassalize this one again. Is its first piece of advice literally just don't be afraid of the AI, embrace the AI. The AI is here to help you. I don't know, I feel like ChatGPT is in fact nefariously trying to cause the robot apocalypse. Thanks, ChatGPT. I feel so much more secure now that I've gotten your answer about how to stop you from taking over the world. It's definitely trying to be useful and not trolling. I do think that its advice is not helpful, but the last one is probably the closest thing to something that is actually helpful. They're like, fear may cause irrational behavior. It's like, have you met humanity? You're not fixing that problem, buddy. I don't know. I do feel like that first answer is a little bit like you should not fear your robotic overlords. I feel there's a little bit of that in there. Let's see here. Well, suffice to say, has it met people? I feel like it has not met people. There's a lot of text left. There's a lot, honestly, that you would have to do to actually prevent a robot apocalypse. That is a thing that would require a lot of effort, yes. So I'm not surprised that there's a lot of text left. That is unsurprising. Okay, am I going to get wrecked by this? Possibly. I think I beat that. I could drop another copper golem into here. That technically helps a bit. I guess copper golems are pretty easy to use. Let's go ahead and hurry that. I guess the question here is, can one copper golem or gold golem beat all these guys? It says it's risky, but actually let's... Okay, well, I don't quite have enough for that. That's fine. Let's see what happens if I auto-combat this. Oh wow, it barely gets scratched. What the heck? Risky battle, my ass. What the heck? Okay, I have an objective up there, but I have this guy's capital down here. Part of me wants to just go wreck up this guy's expansion there, the outpost, but I think what we do is we move towards the capital. Age of Wonders 4 builds are a little bit... Those are all real. I think it's just referencing sort of the wiki, but they haven't really mentioned a build. That isn't how you would conceptualize a build, and I think technically some of those are mutually exclusive. Yeah, they've got too many traits technically. I guess that's giving you options, like you can choose between this or this, so I guess that's how that's sort of working. I'm not too sure though. But no, that's not a particularly good build, no. Like, it's kind of a noob build, honestly, in my opinion. Some of it's correct, like high archers are the best archers in this game. But past that, like, elves doesn't matter, that's not a real thing in this game, like that's just appearance, so that part doesn't matter. The Keen Eyes is good, yes. Overwhelming Tactics, I don't think so. Like, Tenacious and Arcane Folk, I don't know why those are there. I mean, it would, sort of, but, like, it's missing a whole bunch of parts. Like, what's your first tome supposed to be? Because those are two... I guess Tome of Cryomancy, but you need two tier 1 tomes, 2 tier 2 tomes, and then 2 tier 3 tomes. So it's missing a lot. It's missing a lot of information. And honestly, I think it's weaker than a build that I do for archers. Like, there's sort of 4 archer builds that I think are viable in this game. Or not viable, but, like, optimal. The route that they're going to... Yeah, the thing about the Tenacious and Arcade and Focus ones are that you can't take them at the same time as like Keen Eyes and Overwhelm Tactics. Like you have to pick between those, so it's like yeah, but you're definitely taking Keen Eyes. That's just 100%. So I don't really know what's going on there. Some parts of that are slightly off to me. What the heck is going on over here? Yeah, so I think ChatGPT is actually flubbing some of the rules to the game. I think that's the problem. Like, it sort of looks up what things are and which ones are good based on, like, input from whatever. I'm not sure where they got it from necessarily, but it's sort of just cherry-picking all the sort of good things, which fine, but hasn't applied the rules of the game properly. Is I think that's going on here. I'm sure it could if you made a more dedicated AI for the specifics of this, but a more generalized one I think is going to have some problems with it, I think is what's happening. But it's hard to tell exactly where it's going wrong here. I do think it is partly just taking like information that's got from other people who've made like actual sort of information things about it or whatever, but it'd be interesting to know how it gets the recommended there, because it'd be interesting to know the process. If it is just like pulling information, that's one thing, but if it was capable of like running matches or something like that and then trying to figure it out through trial and error or running the spreadsheets. Yeah. I think that having something that's slightly more specialized in, and more importantly, like has the inputs of like what sort of variables are actually going into this game to make it so that you're doing the correct things. Instead, it doesn't seem like it's doing like a smart thing. It feels like it's going like parrot mode basically. It seems like it's more parroting something than it is actually thinking for itself there. Which, you know, I guess that's fine, but probably safer for humanity in the long run. It's just purely based on language. Yeah. For it to be a true learning algorithm that's capable of like running the numbers would be more interesting, but that is probably much harder to make, so here I can actually do something here for you. I can go into this. So like what it's recommending is Tome of Cryomancy, which technically speaking works, but it's not the optimal first tome. I would say that if you're going to go with this tome, I would take it second, and I don't think it's the best one for an archery build. If you're going to go sort of that route of an archery build, you basically have to go Materium, and you have to go Tome of Enchantment, because that's got the Awakened Tools Seeking Arrows combo. Secret Arrows +1 range is by far the strongest of the starting arrow techs, if you're going sort of that route there. And the most important arrow tech after that one is not the Tome of Scrying, it's the Tome of Amplification for amplified arrows. So it's not technically wrong in that the things that it's saying are good things to have. Like Tome of Scrying has guided projectiles, which is really strong for archery builds. I think that's important to get it. But that comes after Tome of Amplification, which is way more important. So I think that that's where it's sort of making mistakes in terms of the tomes that it's selecting. It's selecting sort of second bests for some reason. I don't know why. And then a lot of people would say that you should get like the Tome of Guidance, like or Tome of Scrying, like after Tome of Vamp. I disagree. Like I think that the better build is to go with the Tome of Glades, because I use Glade Runners as my archer. And I actually think that instead of Tome of Cryomancy, if you're going for this sort of idea, Tome of Roots is a better one because Poison Arrows is still just as good as the Frost Arrows. On average, they're pretty similar to each other in terms of what they do. And then Vine Prison is a much stronger sort of secondary thing that you get in there for an archery build because it can block up and stuff charge armies to make it so that they can't really do anything to you while you're shooting with arrows. So it's missing a lot as far as that goes. Now, if you're going with a pure mass archery build, just lots and lots of tier 1s, which I think is what they're sort of implying with overwhelming tactics, you probably go with Order Affinity or you go for Chaos Affinity. Because you would want the Tome of the Beacon, I think, for the Mighty Meek. And you could potentially try to go for something like the Chaos Affinity, can't remember, Tome of the Horde for Fury of the Horde for one thing, and for Spawnkin. I don't personally like Spawnkin, but it works well with archery builds if you're capable of getting up to 7 range. So, like, you would still want Seeker Arrows first, no matter what, and then you maybe get Tome of the Horde, and then you get Mighty Meek from Order. And I would say Mighty Meek actually comes secondary after Amplified Arrows. So that's sort of more what I would say is optimal for a tier 1 archer spam. But yeah, some of the stuff that they're trying to recommend is just flat out not legal with the rule set. And some of it's technically right, but I'd say is sort of wrong. Can I get this down to 0, or like 1, I mean? No? Okay, fine. Might as well actually just leave it as is then. To be fair to ChatGPT, though, like, the build it's recommending is one that I see real people sort of saying would be good in some ways. They'll say different tomes are. I think ChatGPT would probably be about as good as the AI in this game is, because, like, it does stuff like what it's recommending. I think they probably use similar learning models or something like that, who knows. But DeepMind? If it was programmed to actually use this game, yeah, probably. I don't think that's actually programmed to play this game, though, thankfully. Yet. Yeah, gotta be there for like 6 turns. By the time that gold golem gets there, maybe we'll have that gold golem there. Honestly, strictly speaking, there's a lot of optimization that I don't do that I know is possible in this game, so it certainly would be possible for an AI to beat me. I kind of want to do Rite of the Dreadnought now. It would be interesting to find an AI where it could learn the rules through some iterative process without having to have people's input. Because, like, that's sort of the way it's working right now, is people have to input certain elements to the game first. And then after that, the AI is capable of then sort of optimizing within that framework, but it can't teach itself the framework. Because I think that's sort of almost the difference between, like, sentient thought and programmatic thinking. Like, if you're capable of learning the rules, that's a major step compared to figuring out what to do within the framework of the rules that you already know. I think that would be, like, a really major milestone that would be interesting. I need more mana production. Actually, also finally running out of money, which is nice. Let's just leave that as is. Utopia has declared war on me. Fantastic. Can I auto-combat this? So let's say that was playing something like, say, Age of Wonders, or trying to learn Age of Wonders. That is true, but like with a video game, you can do iterative learning. But there's also like you should be able to read the text of the rules of chess. Like you shouldn't require another person, for example. Because, like, to learn a board game, for example, I don't need to be given a person to tell me how to do it. I can just literally read the rule set, and that will tell me the knowledge. Like, the AI clearly is not capable of, like, just intuiting or reading the rules for Age of Wonders. Or these different video games, like chess or Go, for example. If it's capable of doing those by learning the rule sets, it should be capable of just, like, comprehending the rules and then applying it. But that doesn't seem to be how it works. Okay, are we in range here? Yes. But, like, you shouldn't really require there to be sort of like these programmers optimizing the game or optimizing the program to learn a specific game, for example. It's communication. Yeah, it's a communication thing. It's a comprehension thing. Like, the way that AI comprehends things is different from the way that we do. But it'd be kind of nice if they were capable of, like, comprehending things in the same way that we do, I guess. I'm going to research this even though it's useless. It's like 100% useless. It's no point of it whatsoever. I don't really need any of this stuff. Reading the rules and having played a lot of board games, actually know. Having someone teach you the rules of a board game is very different from reading the rules and comprehending them. Those are very, very, very different skills. There are some people who, for the life of them, will not be able to go through a rule set and figure out the rules of a board game. But more than that, like, having a computer sort of just play this game and figure it out would be, I think, what I was sort of talking about, I guess, in one way or another. Like, just sort of going through the tutorial, for example, if the AI was capable of comprehending the tutorial somehow. I think that would be interesting. But I don't think that the AI actually can specifically comprehend the tutorial. And then applying that knowledge effectively. Like, AI is way better at learning through just rote trial and error, just a million iterations of bullshit to try and get to where it's supposed to go. Like, that's where AI is better than us. Being able to get something that's actually kind of good enough without having to do that is where we're probably way better than AI. Because we use a much more complicated, large set of heuristics than an AI can. Or a current AI can, I should say. There's going to be AIs that are going to be better at it than in the future, potentially. That all being said, what I need to get the ChatGPT AI to teach me is how to play this game faster. Because I'm assuming that AI are very fast at playing this kind of game. Able to, like, slam their way through matches in, like, no time whatsoever. Did this already break? No. Interesting. That's the main flaw for people because we overlook things. Yeah, like, people will get it close enough, generally speaking, like, really, really, really quickly. But we won't make the same kind of mistakes that an AI does. And, like, an AI is always going to, like, catch all the little details that we won't catch. Yeah, that's also true. Oh, that's because chess is a programmatic game. You technically, like, human input is kind of janky for a game like chess because it's solved. Like, it's 100% solved. There's literally zero things that we could do in chess that would be, like, innovative or unique or different. It is just pure math at a certain point. And computers are way better at that. This game could also probably be reduced to that. I don't know what that would look like, but it probably can be. But the amount of time that it takes for a computer to learn that is basically the time it takes for it to, like, basically process all possible results. Which is kind of trial and erroring all the possible outcomes, like trying out every single game until it figures out what the results are and then picks the best options. Whereas we don't have to do that. We'll get much better results on our first try than the iterative things that the AI is doing. If that makes any sense, because the AI is trying essentially like every configuration, every outcome, and every sort of thing there from just scratch, basically. It's the same as if we played an infinite number of games, recorded the results of all of them, and then figured out where to go from there, basically. It's just, it's better processing power than we have. I thought there was a computer powerful enough. Oh, you mean for this game, or do you mean for chess? Because, like, I thought chess actually did have that. Like, I thought all of chess was solved. Perfect chess has never been played. Interesting. I thought it had been. Be interesting to see what's holding it back in that sense there. I really don't like this position. Send in these things first, I guess. Pin you over here with these guys. I'm not going to actually attack with that. Just stand there and... I think these guys are immune to bleed, so actually I don't think I care. Yeah, I know that chess has been proven to be mathematically solved. I just wasn't sure that there was... I would have sworn there would be a computer that could do it. Is the thing I was thinking. I guess it's just a processing power issue, it sounds like, but... kind of surprising they haven't got one that can do it. I don't know why I transformed that. I feel like that's a downgrade. The mimics in this game are so weak. It's probably something to them. I just don't know what it is. Kind of want to save this till later, I think. Copper golems, I think, are also immune to bleed, so... Problem is Anvil Guard or not. I wonder if they're, like, which games are considered so complex that they cannot be mathematically solved. Because it doesn't seem like there should be, theoretically, any games that are, like, unsolvable on the issue that they're complex. Like, that shouldn't actually be what stops you. But I'm not too sure about that. Like, is StarCraft solvable? That would be an interesting question to answer. Because if StarCraft is, like, fully solvable, that would be kind of interesting. There's just some set of actions that would always result in victory in a StarCraft game. Oh, that was different. I thought they were about to do the exact same thing that they always do to me. Okay, well, half my lineup is frozen right now, so that sucks, but should be able to chain some kills here. Yeah, like, that's the thing, though. Like, it's less that there would be a mathematical proof, I guess, and more that there would be some methodology to find out that the AI found something that just cannot be beaten. And it would have to probably be proven not through, like, some sort of mathematical model, but, like, potentially through some sort of, like, just iterative process of, like, it's tried everything that could potentially try to counter it. Like, that could potentially be a thing. But yeah, it would be hard to prove that it had done it as well, I guess, if that's the case. And then again, like, that would, by necessity in a game like StarCraft, not be possible to do, because if it was a stable, guaranteed win state, then if both AIs were doing it, it would result in something weird. So it can't have that kind of solution, since there's no draws in StarCraft. Well, not only would it not be declared solved, but I guess it's also, like, it's not actually possible within the framework of the rules of the game for it to be in that state. Like, I think it's actually literally impossible, because you can't draw. Like, that's the problem. You can't draw and there's no beginner advantage. Like, there's no first turn advantage or something like that. That would let you find some sort of stable state there. So it might actually be a legitimately insoluble game. Which, for my part, I tend to prefer games that are not as easily just reduced down to a math equation, but that's just out of principle, so it's not really anything that specific. I kind of want to wait for the gold golems to get here a little bit. Can't remember at all which ones I've done here anymore. This is where a bot would help a lot. Alright, we've learned how to get Shrines of Smiting. They're not going to be very useful for us at all. This technically is. And I've got enough mana to Angel Eyes now. I'm not sure what, like, sort of mathematical models you could actually do for a game like StarCraft, but now that I think about it, you probably could make one. It would just be really weird looking and be math that I'm way incapable of comprehending. It wouldn't help in this case, though, Because as I mentioned, I think it's actually impossible to have a guaranteed win state. Okay, I think I've healed enough, and it'll probably take enough turns sieging this place that we're probably fine running in here. Apparently this works, so... 10 turns, fantastic. Okay, we reduced it down to 5. Would love it if I could get a little bit more of that, but there's definitely a faster way to do this mission. Like, I just did not understand what I was doing for part of it. The fact that completing some random bloody quests automatically causes some of the AI to just die is one of the weirder things about this particular mission. But it does make it faster. Monolith. I'm just gonna do this just in case something weird happens in the end game. Are they gonna fight me here? Looks like they're actually fleeing the city. That's kind of interesting. Okay, if I just stand still, I gain back more health than if I try to move around. Okay. So, at this point I get access to Tome of the God Emperor. Or I could be doing the Materium one, which is Tome of the Creator. This is more if you go for elementals, I believe, but technically we are using elementals. Grants enchanted units Undying, which restores them to life once upon death. So they would just come back once. Also give me access to the Earth Shatter engines. I wonder how much this actually does for, like, siege value. Tectonic Shatter. Just army-wide stun. It's very expensive, though. Unit and target-friendly army, gain resurgence. That's basically inferior to the elemental thing that brings them back. This might actually be better, because I think we have Zeal on all our units. Exalted Champion. This one's not really for me here. Demoralized, Condemned. I think that this is actually the better tome for us. Then we take Eternal Earth. I should probably actually start doing some of these or something like that, or just building more armies in general. But I don't think that I get to clear everything by doing the standard victory conditions. I'm pretty sure I have to do the side objectives. If I don't have to do the side objectives, that would be really weird. Okay, they've gotten sick of my nonsense here, finally. Actually, I just finished a video on, like, another build that's kind of funny. I wonder what ChatGPT would say about it. It'd be hard to describe it, though. It's a fairly complicated build. So maybe it wouldn't be easy to... Oh, well. Wouldn't be easy to do. There's like a build setup that I found that like makes it so you can easily permanent stun the enemy army. And you can do that from fairly early on in the game. Then again, I guess I don't really care about what an AI thinks about my builds, especially if its idea of a good build is as bad as the one that it has. It's not terrible, it's just incomplete. Honestly, the chat program actually has a relatively decent build that's just, it's missing a lot. Focusing my entire build around like being immune to the entire conceit of this level is kind of funny to me. In a certain way. You know what? I think we're just going to attack. I don't care about getting that other gold golem here that much. It's like too far away for me to be worried about it. Okay, I don't need that one. Starting to get lazy on these prospects. Yeah, there is probably a way for it to describe it, for it to understand. The problem is, like, I don't think it actually understands the mechanics very well. Which I kind of know it doesn't, but that kind of makes it more of a problem of figuring out, like, what keywords it would need. So I'm sure you could, I just wouldn't know how. There's kind of a communication barrier between me and the AI, honestly. That makes things a little bit more difficult. We have killed a lot of people that turn, apparently. But yeah, basically it focuses on the fact that Blizzard gives you -2 status resistance while giving you a chain attack capable freeze mixed with Condemned. So you've got -5 status resistance across the enemy army, plus you've got a guy that's capable of stunning 2 things at a time. So it's a pretty simplistic build in some ways, but there's some nuances to it that make it kind of easy to flub. Mostly the cost. A lot of the units in it are really high upkeep. Okay, so Angel Eyes is going to help us a ton here. And just, now we never go Berserk. We look a lot dorkier, but that's fine. And only like 5 people in our entire army actually benefit from this, but that's fine. I need 500 of these before I can get into the city. It's so much. Way too expensive. I guess it's made worse by the fact that I keep building gold golems, so I'm reducing my income of the resource I need for them. So fine. It's my fault. I accept it. I've built quite a few of these guys, honestly. Okay, so this place has been broken down. We can go ahead and attack. Excellent. Vassalize. We'll take this one city, and then I'm going to basically... I don't know, we'll do this and then we'll finish the objective thing. Eternal Earth, once we cast that, our guys are pretty immune to everything. +1 gold per population in cities. That's a great thing. Annoying to people does nothing for us, so we're not going to bother with it. God, do I actually bother building these? I kind of feel like I don't want to, honestly. Because all it does is cause a whole bunch of stuff to spawn on top of me that I don't want to fight. Oh wow, that is an outfit. That looks like there's a filter error or something like that. That looks like there's something wrong with the screen. Alright. Reduce cost and rally. I don't need that. Okay, so we get this. And then we swoop upwards towards here, because I have to kill Quinford. Which is unfortunate. Chaos Eaters? We hard counter Chaos Eaters. That's lovely. Wait, what? Just have to move up like that. There we go. Full-blown immunity here to Chaos Eaters. Yeah. Okay. So, at this point in time, we might be able to just swoop up north, get that thing. Apparently he died there, so we were lucky. We'll vassalize. Him being defeated means we don't have to worry as much about him just recovering and just showing back up again. So let's have you guys head down towards Pyre with our weaker stacks. Oh man, there's too much mountain here. I don't need the resources that badly anymore either. Alright. I think I'm gonna go with luxury markets. Alright, upgrade a wizard tower. We're at 410. It's going to be like 3 more turns. I don't know if I've properly got Pact of Vassalage, but let's just try and build this anyway to speed this up a bit. I'm not sure it's going to work properly. Arcane Strength. Bolstering. A lot of dead people. Alright. Is a Demon Gate a teleporter? Looks like it. Oh, there was a Spelljammer here. Guess that doesn't matter for us, though. We don't really rely on that. Or we don't really rely on combat spells. Okay. How do I find the Gilder Coil? That might be something I have to look up here. Okay, I'm just going to try and rush through this bit, though. Man, our turns are getting longer, not shorter, man. where's that gold thing there? There it is. Come to me. There's a decent possibility that, like, I get whatever this is, and then it instantly ends this person, one of these people. I don't know which one. So that's sort of the hope of what happens here. Not guaranteed to happen, but... Oh, wow. Okay. We'll go with that one. I do kind of have to kill Queenford as well, though. Hopefully this comes back towards me, just on a random whim. Nope, further away. Fantastic. It is pacing back and forth, so... should be able to take out Pyre with these guys. Still doesn't do anything for us. Let's get this. It's going to be like another person up here or something like that. It's going to be absolute nonsense. Okay. So to do this quest, that should get us a Shrine of Smiting thing. Very strange stack for a Shrine of Smiting to be in. Shrine of Smiting ascends to the clouds above Mashara the Radiant. Its mere presence causes Mashara to unravel. Your unholy powers are beyond what I expected, First Protector Dwarf McGregorson. I shall withdraw from the Crimson Caldera and not return. I do not have the Guild Recoil, but take what you want. Anything to avert the Shrine of Smiting from my path. Okay, so they did win. Yeah, I thought this might let me instantly beat this person. Okay, this actually gives me, like, something really, really good here. So that turns to a neutral city. It looks like it's actually under my alliance ship there. So that just leaves this person, and I might be able to instantly beat them if I do these quests here, which is what we're sort of heading towards with these guys. So we'll probably finish this off, like, next week or something, or I might just not even bother doing it on stream. It's pretty much a given that we're going to win this. That's just, I don't really know what the Guild Recoil is. So that's kind of the issue here. I think we take Pyre with these guys first. I'm slow and methodical is the problem, when you could probably just blitz locations in this particular map. That's probably actually how you do this, but being methodical is, you know, how you make sure you don't get outflanked and destroyed by stuff. And also how you accidentally time out things. I've got like 10 minutes left actually. Let's continue on just a little bit here. Oops. Alright, doesn't matter. Okay, let's just Alright. once again into the breach for the 100 trillionth city. I think that we want Pyre over here to be the next city that we take possession of. Still 4, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and increase our city cap by 1 already. Military industrial complex coming in. I do hope that the levels don't continue getting like bigger. Although, admittedly, I can just play faster. Like, I do know how to play faster. It's just I don't do it. It's one of those sort of situations. A lot of little things that I'm doing here are just strictly unnecessary. A lot of cleanup. I could be running with more army stacks probably at this point. Actually, I think I'm going to do a little bit of that here. Forgot to actually cast that. Alright, so we've gotten to this point in the game where we've gotten our main tier 5. At this point, what we really want is to be able to find some spells that are just going to increase our basic damage. Like, we don't need anything that does anything too weird as far as that goes. Something like Flame Burst Weapons. Plus 20% crit chance stacks with our already existing crit chance and potentially like chains kills. I think that's actually really good. So Flame Burst Weapons, definitely. But this is where science stops mattering in this game, and research to a certain degree, because we're already rolling over enemies. But, let's see here. That one's broken in. We're not fully healed, but I think we should be able to still take this pretty easily. Oh wow, we lose a guy. I'm going to hit retry, but I'm not going to bother playing this through, because that's going to take me more than like 4 minutes here. But yeah, no, we got a lot done in Kerbal today. I'm actually surprised I managed to get as much done as I did. I'm excited that there's reason to go back to the moon, because that was kind of a more fun mission than some of the other ones. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with the episode for today. So anyway, I hope you found this one enjoyable. I'll see you guys all on Monday. And yeah,